In the spring of 2025, the American economy was shaken by a dramatic and unexpected move from President Donald Trump, sending shockwaves through financial markets and households alike. President Trump announced sweeping new tariffs on nearly all imported goods, targeting a wide range of products from everyday essentials to electronics. Some countries, especially China, faced even steeper rates, escalating an already tense trade relationship and raising concerns among business leaders and consumers. Trump declared it Liberation Day, vowing to protect American jobs and industries from foreign competition. He promised that these tariffs would bring manufacturing back to U.S. soil and strengthen the nation's economy. But the real battle was just beginning, and the consequences would soon ripple across the country. Almost immediately, the spotlight turned to Walmart, the nation's largest retailer and a symbol of affordable shopping for millions. Walmart's entire business model depends on low prices and a vast, global supply chain that brings goods from around the world to American shelves. Taking to his platform on Truth Social, Trump issued a public demand. Walmart should eat the tariffs, meaning the company should absorb the extra costs instead of passing them on to American shoppers. The message was clear, and the pressure was on. This public ultimatum put Walmart's leadership in a difficult position. Should they defy the president and risk political backlash, or comply and jeopardize their reputation for low prices? The stakes were enormous, and the decision would affect millions. Suddenly, the cost of everything from groceries to electronics was at risk of rising. Shoppers across the country began to worry about how these changes would impact their weekly budgets and everyday lives. Inside Walmart's boardrooms, executives faced a crisis unlike any before. Absorbing the massive new costs could mean billions in losses, but raising prices would hit millions of American families hard, especially those already struggling with inflation. The standoff quickly became a national conversation. Families debated the issue at dinner tables, investors watched nervously as Walmart's stock fluctuated, and news outlets covered every development asking, who would ultimately pay the price? Would Walmart protect its loyal customers and keep prices low, or would the tariffs force higher costs onto household budgets across the country? The uncertainty left millions anxiously checking receipts and rethinking their spending. The answer to this high-stakes dilemma would transform a complex policy debate into a deeply personal kitchen-table issue for families in every corner of America, making the impact of global trade policy more real than ever before. So, what are tariffs? If you've ever wondered why the price of your favorite imported gadget suddenly jumps, or why your morning coffee costs a bit more, tariffs might be the reason. They're a big deal in the world of shopping, even if you don't see them on your receipt. Simply put, tariffs are taxes placed on goods that come into the country from abroad. Think of them as a toll that foreign products have to pay to cross the border and land on American store shelves. When Walmart brings in TVs from China or coffee from Colombia, the U.S. government charges a fee at the border. This fee is added to the cost of those goods before they even reach the store. The main goal? To make imported goods more expensive, so shoppers are nudged to buy American-made products instead. It's a way to protect local businesses and encourage manufacturing at home. But here's the catch. Walmart pays the tariff, not you directly. You won't see a tariff line on your receipt, but the cost is still there, hidden in the final price. The company then faces a tough decision. Should they absorb the extra cost and make less profit, or pass it on to shoppers by raising prices? For big retailers, this is a constant balancing act. For retailers with razor-thin margins, even a 10% tariff can wipe out profits fast. That's why these decisions matter so much to their bottom line. If Walmart can't absorb the cost, your $300 TV might now cost $330. That price hike isn't just a number, it can change what you buy, or if you buy at all. That extra $30, it goes straight to the government, not Walmart's bottom line. Tariffs are a way for the government to collect revenue, but they can also disrupt the way we shop. In the end, tariffs often mean higher prices for shoppers, even if your paycheck stays the same. That can make everyday essentials feel just out of reach. During trade wars, leaders like Trump argued that big companies like Walmart could afford to take the hit. But retailers pushed back, saying the math just didn't add up for them or their customers. The real fight? It's about who should shoulder the cost of a trade war, giant corporations or everyday consumers trying to stretch their budgets. That's what fueled the public clash and left Americans everywhere watching their wallets, wondering how tariffs would affect their next shopping trip. The showdown between Trump and Walmart played out in public like a high-stakes standoff. It was more than just a disagreement over economics. It was a battle over who would bear the cost of a global trade war. The world watched as two giants, one in politics and one in retail, faced off in a very public arena. Trump's message was blunt. Walmart must eat the tariffs, not pass them on to the consumer. He insisted that big corporations like Walmart had the resources to absorb the extra costs, and he made it clear he expected them to do so for the sake of American families. He framed it as a test of corporate responsibility, warning that price hikes would look like greed. The president's words put Walmart in the spotlight, making it a symbol of the broader debate over who should pay for tariffs, businesses or everyday people. Walmart, usually quiet on politics, pushed back. The company, known for its low prices and massive scale, found itself forced to respond publicly, breaking its usual silence on political matters. CFO John Rainey said the company couldn't absorb the full cost. Retail margins were just too slim. He explained that even a small increase in costs could ripple through the entire supply chain, affecting everything from groceries to electronics. Price hikes, he warned, were inevitable. For a company operating on razor-thin margins, there simply wasn't enough room to shield customers from the impact of tariffs. CEO Doug McMillon echoed the message. Walmart wanted to keep prices low, but the tariffs made that nearly impossible. He emphasized that the company's mission was to save people money, but external forces were making that promise harder to keep. The company was caught between presidential pressure and business reality. Walmart's leadership faced a dilemma: comply with the president's demands or protect their business model and shareholders. Walmart's stance was clear: the tariffs were too much for any retailer to absorb. Analysts warned that if Walmart couldn't hold the line, smaller retailers would struggle even more. The public watched as the president demanded, "Don't raise prices," and Walmart replied, "We have to." The debate played out on news channels and social media, with both sides refusing to back down. This wasn't just business. It was a political drama with real consequences for millions. Every American who shopped at Walmart or any store would feel the effects of this standoff in their daily lives. Should a president dictate prices? The question sparked heated debate about the limits of government power and the role of private enterprise in a free market. What happens when a company says no? The answer could set a precedent for how American businesses respond to political pressure in the future. The answers would hit Americans right at the checkout. For millions, the outcome of this standoff would be measured not in headlines, but in the rising totals on their receipts. The tariff debate quickly became personal for shoppers. Everyday staples, bananas, avocados, coffee, were among the first to see price hikes. Electronics and toys, mostly imported from Asia, faced even steeper increases. Trump's tariffs on China soared as high as 145% before dropping to 30% during negotiations. Suddenly, parents faced higher prices for birthday gifts and school supplies. The promise of everyday low prices was under threat. Shoppers felt caught in a fight they couldn't control, watching prices climb while politicians and companies pointed fingers. For families on tight budgets, the reason didn't matter. Their money just didn't go as far. Some switched to cheaper brands, others cut back on non-essentials. The uncertainty made it hard to plan, turning a routine shopping trip into a source of stress. The global trade war had landed right in the shopping cart. As shoppers felt the pinch, confusion reigned in Washington. Trump's message was clear: Walmart should pay the tariffs. But his own administration sent mixed signals, adding to the chaos. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent claimed Walmart's CEO promised to absorb some tariffs, contradicting Walmart's public statements. Walmart never confirmed this supposed deal, and CFO John Rainey insisted price hikes were unavoidable. The disconnect left the public wondering who to believe. Was the government smoothing things over, or was Walmart being honest about the costs? Businesses need predictability, but mixed messages from the top created uncertainty. Companies hesitated to invest or hire, unsure which version of reality to trust. The confusion at the highest levels only deepened the economic instability for everyone. Walmart wasn't alone in the tariff storm. Other giants, Amazon, Target, faced the same dilemma: absorb costs or raise prices. Amazon warned that tariffs would mean higher prices for its customers too. Smaller retailers with even thinner margins were hit hardest. Some faced existential threats. The entire retail sector, from big box stores to mom-and-pop shops, braced for impact. The message was unified. Tariffs are a tax on consumers, and no retailer could fully absorb them. No matter where Americans shopped, they'd feel the pinch. The trade war was a nationwide problem, not just a Walmart story. The Walmart-White House clash sent shockwaves through the economy. The stock market reacted with volatility as investors feared slowing growth and shrinking profits. Retail stocks, including Walmart's, dropped as higher prices threatened sales. Economists warned, tariffs can fuel inflation, making everyone's money worth less. As prices rose, consumers spent less, risking an economic slowdown. Businesses facing uncertainty delayed investments and hiring. Walmart even stopped giving profit forecasts, citing unpredictable trade policy. The lack of clarity from such a major employer signaled deeper trouble. News of rising prices and recession fears spread, eroding public confidence. Families grew cautious, tightening budgets and worrying about the future. When businesses can't plan, the whole economy stands on shaky ground. The 2025 tariff conflict was a crash course in real-world economics. It showed how quickly a policy in Washington can hit your wallet at the store. Tariffs aren't just abstract, they show up as higher prices on everyday goods. Disrupting global supply chains overnight sent shockwaves through the system. The fight between Trump and Walmart proved you can't ignore business realities. For families, the lesson was clear. Government policies often land hardest on shoppers. When politicians and corporations clash, it's the person at the checkout who pays. The trade war's true cost was felt in every shopping cart across America.